Hello, everyone. I'm starting to think there is some kind of a plot from the universe because it is truly unbelievable. There's sometimes like sequences of days where right before I go live, literally right before I'm about to sit down, something happens every time. Like there's a sequence of like a week or so where like I think it happened yesterday. That it just something happens right before I'm about to go live, and then I have to attend to it, and then I'm about like 2 minutes late. It's kind of crazy. And always like an unpredictable thing. Okay, hold on. There we go. I think we're there. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Breezy Brown, Guru, thank you for being patient. Jackie's in the house. How are you, everybody? Why is it doing this? Hold on. Okay, like this. Good. Let's straighten this, baby. Is this straight? I think it's straight. Okay. Welcome, Simulation Talk 273. Excited to be here today. Hope you guys are too. What's up, Breezy Brown? Let me see. I think it's this. How are you guys doing? Wanted to make sure that we have everything in place. I think that we do. Let's see what we can get into today. What's up, Nico? How are you, brother? Weird witch. Where did you find that post, by the way? I want to know. This is it just Reddit? Where was that post from? By the way, if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, it'll be LaserX83. Come follow us there. And our website is codeofreality.com. Codeofreality.com. How are you, brother? Good evening.
Yeah, I saw that on Reddit. That was hilarious.
Somebody tried to hack. Is it fair to say tried to hack? I think it's fair to say they tried to hack Putin. Like from the would that be? I wonder. Like, would that be astral projection? Would that just be out of body experience? What is that considered to be? Which one of the abilities is this one?
Yeah, I think it was Astro. I don't know much, but listen on Discord for everyone else to see it.
This is great.
I'm imagining it's a joke. I don't think this person was actually trying to.
No. You'll be surprised. I've heard people tell me things like this. Very seriously. And again, in the end of the day, who knows? But like, it's still funny. You're not gonna do anything about the fact that that's funny. Also, I think even if you think that you are, can go out there and hack people, the fact that you like if you believe in energies and all that stuff, then of course you must believe that these people that are very high up understand something, right? So of course, like if you already believe in that, of course they're gonna be. It's almost like saying, "Oh my God, I'm gonna date myself so badly." I'm like Wayne Gretzky when he was like the GOAT, and like, "Oh my God, I played against Wayne Gretzky and I lost in hockey. I don't understand." What? Why would you be confused about this?
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I wish I had these experiences. Even lucid dreaming, I can't lucid dream. I feel like I'm like missing out.
There's a way to train it. Have you ever looked into that?
There's one technique I saw where you write "Am I dreaming" on my hand, and you
No. The one with the lamp. That's the easiest one.
The red light. Yeah.
I think any light, but I think red works the best because it really stands out. I think they sell those on Amazon. It's like it's just really it's just night, whatever it is, eye covers with a little LED inside and with a timer. So you can just set it to kind of like you can kind of look your circadian rhythm. You can look at how often you dream, give or take, and then you can set it. I think it's every 90 minutes or something, and then you dial it in. You set it for 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, because it maybe takes you some time to fall asleep, and then it goes off and it start doing this thing, and the light is supposed to come through in your dream, and then you'll remember. You'll be like, oh, and then you wake yourself up, basically.
Yeah. Have you tried it?
No, maybe I should. I honestly never tried it, but I probably should. So Rogan, Danny Jones really thought you were getting brought up when they were talking about the code. He was talking about something else. I don't remember them talking about the code on Rogan. Did we? Did they? I don't think they could talk about the code at all.
No, they didn't, but they were like flirting with the idea.
Yeah. And I think it has a lot to do with, like, again, it will be interesting to just ask Danny later about the dynamic. But I think the reason for that is because you kind of have to be measured also with levels of energy, where you are in the conversation, and how deep rabbit holes are. So I think it's clear that if you touching this rabbit hole, it's going to be a chunk of a conversation. So I think maybe then, if you don't have enough energy for that, then you just don't go into it. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. You must have talked to him about the filming, right? So
even before, Eddie said that Joe said that he wants to try it, but as I'm sure you understand, Joe has crazy schedule. Like, it's finding a time, and I don't think he's done the molecule in many, many years. So I think it's going to be a moment. Who is the daylight computer guy? They went and then some. Wait, I bet Rogan gonna have a daylight computer guy on. They went in that subject. I'm hoping you get on Rogan soon, but the movie will blow up. Thank you so much, Breezy Brown. I hope so too.
Speaking about daylight delivery or daylight, I don't know if you've been seeing the debunk of Huberman, saying the whole blue light stuff.
Okay.
This total.
But it's not his. It's like, this was kind of like a meme out there that he maybe popularized more, but I don't think it was him specifically.
No, yeah, it wasn't him. I think he just jumped on the bandwagon because the kind of research that he does is optical kind of like research. And he's a Stanford professor, and so I think when a professor gets behind these red glasses and tries to sell them, I think it just brings a level of legitimacy to it. It's more powerful than any ad. And these are like $300 glasses and stuff. So I watched this whole video of like the science of red and blue light, and it does make a difference. But in these studies, it's only a couple minutes of sleep that it disrupts, and the amount of blue light you need is like a large amount to really disrupt sleep.
Yeah. So from what who said that? I forget who said that. There was some neuroscientist who said it was nonsense a long time ago. But what's interesting to me is that this is very easy to study. This is not rocket science. Like, this is so easy to test if you are doing it in a clinical setting, right? You have people with various sleep conditions. That you're already putting them to different tests and sleep tests, and you just check if this influences anything about their brain waves, because I'm sure you're measuring it before, after, all that good stuff. It can't be too hard to test. You just take a sample of like 20, 30 people. I think it's a good enough of a sample, honestly, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Charlie's asking, is it a coincidence that core is cleared on the toad molecule and that you met a toad entity in your room? It's an interesting thought. It wasn't really a toad though. It was more kind of like a hybrid between like an amphibian kind of half lizard, half frog kind of thing. Wait, can you not hear me? So you can't hear Nico, or you can't hear me, or you can't hear both of us. So this might be due to the. Let me move you a little closer. I think it might be due to the noise cancellation thing. Let me see if I cancel it. Tell me if you hear it better. It is strange because this is. I mean, I guess it's not. It's going to be in the software, I guess. Echo cancellation, reduce mic background noise. Can you hear it better now? Can you guys hear it better? Say something, Nico.
Mic check. Mic check. Hello, hello.
Can you hear this?
Hello, hello.
There's always a little bit of a delay, so. Nico choppy. Weird. It's probably something has to do with but so choppy the way it was before, right? Let me also hold on. I'm gonna close this door. We have family visiting, so people are going to sleep earlier, and I gotta stream from the room, and it's suboptimal conditions. I think I should just set up the OBS.
Yeah, I've been thinking about setting up OBS. I want to do some like vibe coding sessions with chemistry. But you use StreamYard, right?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, you're dialed all the way up, so there's not much more I can do. If you guys can't hear what Nico is saying, I can always say again what he said.
I can jump on Discord on the stage too.
Oh yeah, that would be. I think that would help. Let me go to the stage real quick. Discord. Wait. Let's go to stage. There we go. Stage is up. So by the way, if you guys are on Discord and you want to join from Discord, you're more than welcome to do so. Just raise your hand if you want to talk, and I'll bring you up. No problem at all. Recently, we didn't really have too many takers on Discord, so. What's up, and keep. Oh yeah, and welcome from Turkey. Not sure what to tell you. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe it is time to switch. Can you guys hear me okay now? Again, if you are on Discord and you want me to bring you up, just let me know. And just reminding everybody that you can follow us on Twitch, which is LaserX83 on Twitch. Come give us a follow there. Chee. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of postulations about the code. The main thing is what can we do to substantiate it? What experiments can we do? How can we go about this? Okay, awesome, Jake. Thank you so much. What do you think? Star seeds or star children? I don't know. I don't know enough about that. Something tells me that there's no special categories. Something tells me that what it is that there's a certain layer of information that is moving through the human organism as a whole. And children that are born at a particular time would come prepackaged with certain kinds of information that might or might not come to fruition. And the parents that encourage this development, or whatever codes those are, might be what allows for star children to be what they are. I'm not a big believer that we come here from other stars. I think that's a convoluted idea. I think it's a very fun idea, but I think from a serious perspective, even if you postulate like very out there things, I think it's a very flimsy idea. I think that what's really going on is that there's a circulation of information in the system, and that circulation results in certain people coming with a particular prepackage of a pattern that allows for certain functions. And I think that's what would explain star children. What's up, Camille? Good to see you. Good to have you. What's up, Mikhail? Good to have you with us. What if you make the laser 150 times bigger? In terms of power, you're going to burn your eyelids. In terms of size, I mean, we made it a lot bigger, about this big. Let's see what we got. So, so far, Nico, I don't see you on Discord. Did you jump on there?
I'm gonna jump on right now.
Cool. Love the way it's phrased. How do you alive? You can see it on Shrooms. Yep. You can see it on Aya as well. You can see it on 5MEO. You can see it. Well, that's as far as we know today. Carter is going to be testing with Kay, I think today or tomorrow. Does the surface? No. Surface also doesn't make any difference. How am I alive? Yeah. It just tells you that none of these things are actually secrets. The people telling you there are secrets are in the business of telling you that they know secrets you don't know. Oh, let me bring. Let's test this.
Testing.
I think that should be better. Is this better, guys? Can you guys hear Nico better on YouTube? Documentary is coming out closer to the end of the year. What's up, Austin? Much better. Awesome. No, not fuck people with secrets. Just people like to tell you that they're special. They know things you don't. Can you try water as a surface? You can. It will refract, and you would see a portion of it. Yeah. Again, there's this is. I understand all the questions and all the pending ideas. This is why we're working on trying to bring a more coherent structure to this whole project, so people can read what was already done and then decide what they want to participate in, and that will give us a good opportunity to actually study it versus all the ideas about it. How much Andrew Gallon was dismissive of the laser experiment? Has he tried it before? I don't think he's necessarily as dismissive as people think he is. He is actually very receptive of the possibility. And this is why he keeps repeating that he does think that this is a significant discovery, just maybe not of the flavor that I'm claiming. I stand my ground on my claims, but there's nothing but a very respectful relationship between me and Andrew. And I don't think he's dismissing it as much as people talk about it. It's more like it didn't cross the threshold for him. So we communicate all the time, and eventually, I'm sure there's going to be a moment where it's going to pass the threshold, and he's going to decide to try it. Breezy saying Nitros is a good mix to bring the code. Interesting. Is this something that so this is reliably happening for you? Nitros by itself, or with the molecule? All the info seems scattered. Yeah, no. Currently, the info is scattered. You're absolutely right, Jake. We are working on something that is a lot more streamlined. Yeah, there you go, again. He will try it on his island. Let's go, baby. On Mars. That would be wild to try it on Mars. You what question, Nico? What were you looking for when you found that post on Reddit? What subreddit were you on?
No, I think I was just browsing like a feed, my feed, and I saw it, and I laughed so hard. I couldn't stop laughing because I like when he said, "I'm spiritually injured, but I think I'll make it." It's like trying to fight the final boss in Final Fantasy VII. I think his name was Sephiroth.
Yep.
And yeah, it just sounds like he's the final boss, but you know, the interesting thing is that I have friends in Russia that like they think he, like I thought he was like I thought he was universally just like a bad guy, and they're like, no, like what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, okay. But maybe because someone was listening to the call or something. I don't know. Maybe you can't just speak freely against the government over there.
You got to be a little bit more careful, because maybe it's not like the gulags, but you definitely want to be careful. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And again, it's not like, of course, like with every person, right? You're gonna have people that from the same country that love them and people that hate them. But the truth is that you really want to make sure that you're looking at a more objective perspective that kind of encompasses the world's perspective, and because ultimately it shouldn't be viewed just through the frame of what Russians believe. It should be looked through the frame of what it is like to be in front of somebody like that who's making decisions on the account of other countries. Let's say, that's maybe evil is an easy word to kind of utilize, but it's just a very lazy one. Definitely someone who he loves his country and believes that what he's doing is right for the country. And I guess that's what America First is also. But if you are invading another country to do so, then I guess that kind of puts you in a slightly different category, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it sounded, I mean, I don't want to get into it, but it did sound like they have some good arguments about that, that I was like, oh, I guess I didn't think about that. So
what, for example?
Well, like they were saying, like, imagine Mexico became a part of this alliance that, is like threatening the US, right? And I was like, oh, I guess I didn't think about the NATO candidacy of Ukraine, but
yeah,
I was like,
I thought about it too, but then on the other hand, NATO never really threatened anyone in history.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think Finland is also neighboring Russia, and they joined NATO, right?
Yeah, I think it was more like an excuse, to be honest. Because realistically, he knows NATO would never invade Russia. Like that was never a thing that he ever thought that would happen, right? That's not realistic. He can use it as an excuse, yes, but of course that's not anyone's plan. That's nowhere, like that's not a thing. That's not what's happening. I think that's the big difference there. That there's actually no threat, but he utilizes the optics that can be kind of framed as a threat to his own political goals. But he wanted that part of Ukraine from the beginning, basically, because he believes that Russia and Ukraine are like supposed to be one thing. So in that regard, you can kind of say, well, he's just like, it's out of the love for the country, and in many regards, it's more difficult than just like a selfish act because he does clearly really love the country, and he really does do it from this like hugely romantic perspective of like the leader that brought everybody back together. The fact that that's a delusional point of view because it's not 200 years ago, it's not 100 years ago, we're not 50 years ago, we're now, and now it's a different situation. And the fact that he kind of lives in these 150 years ago kind of schemas tells you that there's something not fully aligned with how we should see the world, or at least the modern world. What's the way?
Yeah, my dad lived in Russia in the 70s, and he said it was awesome. He loved it. He lived in Moscow.
It's a beautiful place. Russia is a beautiful place, beautiful people. It's very culturally rich. It's good food. It's very Moscow is also very lavish. Like it's very extravagant. It's a billionaires and millionaires city. Like you definitely feel the money in the air.
So you grew up in Russia and then moved to Israel?
Mm-hmm. I was born in central Moscow on Lenin.
Oh, okay.
If you Google Leninsky Prospect, it's like one of the biggest streets. I was literally born in like the center of Moscow. Hold on, let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? That's me. Come on. Yeah, I was born right in the middle.
Yeah, I have a sister in Russia, actually.
Really?
A half sister.
Where?
She's in Moscow. Yeah.
But what is she doing there?
She was born there.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so she's my half sister. Yeah, so I've been wanting to go to Russia, but it's with citizenship, it's always kind of been an issue. But also, I hear it's not like a super safe country to visit unless you have like a American citizenship or maybe even that is arguable. But
what is that? It's risky to go with an American passport.
Yeah, or
I think there's something to be said about it for sure.
Yeah.
No, I have friends who are Russian who also spend a lot of time in Moscow, and they just went recently, and they're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they have friends and they're fine, but like people just live, And again, this is the uneven ground that Ukraine really pays with, like actually having it being fought on their land, and Russia doesn't. They just kind of live their life.
Yeah.
Especially down in Moscow. Thank you, Third Mind. Russia wants the rare earth minerals. I mean, who doesn't want resources? What country doesn't want resources? It's like if Texas seceded from the United States 30 years ago, somebody got all romantic about bringing them back to the U.S. Basically, it's similar, yeah. Only a lot longer than 30 years. This goes back to like 200 years ago. Like he's talking about roots that were, in the 1900s.
I will say, I do think Russian architecture, like the brutalist architecture of the Soviet Union, is so awesome. Like the aesthetics is amazing. And for a while, I was actually collecting electronics from Chernobyl, like just buying electronics. And so I have a bunch of, it's in my garage, but I have a bunch of these little tube amps, and also there's these little tubes that have numbers, Nixie tubes they're called. I got a bunch of Nixie tubes from Chernobyl. I'm thinking about getting a Geiger counter just to make sure everything's not radioactive, but
now
pretty
now yeah, after you had it for a
while. Yeah, now after 10 years of
after you're already part of the X-Men at this point.
Well, I collect vintage cameras, and I didn't realize this, but they make the glass. They used to make it out of thorium, because it has a high refractive index. And thorium is radioactive. They added thorium to the glass. And so, you kind of like put the lens up to your face, to your eyeball. But I was reading that theoretically, the amount of radiation coming from these lenses is small, and you're not always putting it up against your eyes. So it's interesting. But even bananas are radioactive, right? Potassium.
Yeah,
there's a small amount of radioactivity in
too small
bananas.
to mention, but yes, it is a fun fact that bananas are radioactive. Just like superior potassium. Charlie's saying, please explain more about how reality requires both consciousness and body. Would you say hyperspace is real, the core space is real, or the dream world is real? Everything that has to do with content and the conscious being can experience is real. To my this is my analysis of the situation. And the reason that you need both consciousness and body is because they're not separate. I'm from an idealistic perspective, the body is just one form that a clump inside of the universal conscious mind is taking. Your brain and the functionality of the body and everything. This is like a representation of a mind space that executes itself in a particular way. So it's not like you have both. It's not like they're two different things. They're the same thing from two different perspectives. So basically you need to have a representation for something to mean something, right? You can't just have everything just blah. Like there has to be boundaries to things. These boundaries interact with one another in some way. And even if it's not a physical body, you still have boundaries that you can talk about, like in hyperspace and dreams. You can see things that are separate from you and they do their own thing. And so you need these bubbles of agency inside of the mind space for anything to take shape. So it's more about shape versus no shape, right? But if you think about it, there's no such thing as no shape. It doesn't exist. So you can say, well, maybe there's like more ethereal realms where you're just kind of like just like a floating consciousness, and okay, but there's still some boundary of some sort, because otherwise it's just all one mesh that doesn't make any difference to anything. The fact that anything is happening and there's any process going on tells you that there's different portions of reality where all of a sudden these coherent flows interact with each other. And these boundaries is eventually what solidifies to what I would say the laws of physics and the physical universe, and everything basically stems from that. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of ideas that people play with that are just like, if you just go one or two more levels down, it becomes clear that the idea itself is just not it's just the wrong way to think about it. Like there's this feeling that we have that there's a body and then there's somebody riding inside the body. That's simply not what's going on according to my frame, which is that you just have an execution of a function that looks like this, because when you do something, it does this next thing, and so on and so on and so on and so on, and eventually it gives rise to different architectures of different kinds of realities, and ours just happen to look like our laws of physics. And then from there you can explain everything with physics. What's up, Agent? And thank you so much, Mikhail. I did enjoy the conversation with Coach as well. Yes, I agree. Body is form, and consciousness gives rise to form. Body isn't necessarily concrete physical thing. What we know is physical in reality is merely energy and vibrational energy state that has been put into certain patterns. Patterns is formed, and everything changes within this circle. Well, I don't know. I don't believe true consciousness is directly connected to energy, but it doesn't mean it is that energy. It doesn't mean it is that pattern. So I think definition is really, really important. The laws of physics are not finite. They're subject to change. Consciousness is what I would propose is what gives rise to change within the laws of physics. But then you would have to talk about exactly how it's doing that, right? The postulation from an idealistic perspective is that consciousness is literally the fabric out of everything, out of which everything is fashioned. Everything is made out of consciousness. Nothing isn't that. So to say consciousness does this doesn't make sense from an idealistic perspective. Consciousness is that. Consciousness is the thing. It's not the thing that gives rise to one thing. It's the thing that is all things. So that's a slightly different perspective. What you're talking about is more of a, I guess, what is it called? What's the other thing, Nico, that I'm spacing on? The other perspective, the consciousness is fundamental, but is a field in reality.
Panpsychism.
Panpsychism, thank you. So the other perspective, panpsychism, is basically you have consciousness, a thing that exists within a larger reality, and it is animating things, or it is responsible for inner perception. That's not my perspective. My perspective is that consciousness is everything, and then the different forms of all the laws of physics that you see, they're essentially formulations of different states of consciousness, but they're not separate. It's not like consciousness animates something in them. Consciousness is them and everything else. And again, this is more along the lines of Bernardo Castro perception. And to all the people that kind of, these ideas are, of course, I'm familiar with it. People say these things, but for example, you're saying physical as reality is merely energy. So, okay. We know as physical and reality is merely energy and vibrational. No, that's not what we know. That is incorrect. From a physics perspective, E equals mc squared doesn't mean that all matter is energy. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that they're interchangeable. They're one thing. Whatever that thing is, isn't energy or physical. It's not energy either. It's some kind of a meta state that can flow from one to the other through different processes. But what animates the ultimate thing, that's not, there's no verdict on this. So no, it's not that it's all energy. No, it's not all vibration, because vibration is just, it's a process. It's not a thing. Vibration of what? See what I mean? No, we also don't know nothing. We know quite a few things. Existence is such a good flick is a t-shirt. I gotta make it. This is great.
Thinking back to the podcast yesterday, one thing that Andrew's been saying is that the spirit molecule is a technology, and the Amazon or the Amazonians from Peru were essentially using this kind of plant-based technology, right? And then he talked about the history of this guy, and Dennis McKenna also helped kind of decipher the interplay between the inhibitor and the active ingredient. But when I talk to my friends about it, they actually don't have that very simplistic view of Aya. They actually think that there's many more ingredients that actually go into it that also play in with your DNA. There's like a DNA component to it as well. It's not just like a spirit molecule cocktail. So I feel like maybe, I don't know if like a lot of scientists really appreciate that, but the only Western scientist that I've heard talk about that is Dennis himself.
Yeah, well, because he experienced it. And this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's I think there's more to that technology, and maybe I'm just romanticizing it because I do like this idea that there's like a hidden lost knowledge, but I believe they're pretty adamant that there's a lot more to it than just the spirit molecule and the inhibitor.
You got that from the conversation?
Well, in the conversation that Andrew had, he's always distilling it down to like, this is the technology, and now we have, we kind of have this version of it called pharma-huasca, right? Which, you can make, and then there's a vaporizable form, the freebase. And then he's talking about it like in the context of DMTX is like this next step to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm worried that it may not be a simple evolution. Like there may be more to the ground level natural existence of this technology than we understand. I haven't heard him talk about that.
So you would like him to expand more on that?
Yeah, I just think it's maybe in his book. I don't. Have you read his book?
The new one I didn't finish yet. No.
Okay,
I'm reading it now.
I haven't read it, but I do think it's like worth looking into in terms of like what role the DNA has, because it seems like it's a function of DNA as well, and it also does like DNA repairing apparently. I don't know how much of this is real or not, but
so we have some data on that.
Yeah, so Dennis McKenna did a podcast a couple years ago where he talked about doing a lot of DNA studies with Aya and seeing how it. Yeah,
that is really interesting. I didn't know that there's actually data on this, because he was talking about like how it goes into the changes some stuff in the DNA with his experiences in La Chorrera. But I have never heard him talk. I guess maybe I heard him blurt it out, but I don't remember it very well. Huh. Interesting. Gotta look more into it.
I'll post a podcast where Dennis talks about it more specifically, but it is still like a unknown science.
Of course. And Charlie, to your question, yes, I do think that hyperspace is real, core is real, and the dream world. Well, I actually think that the dream world is not as real. And I know a lot of people disagree, but I actually think that the dream state is more our little pocket of the mind, but you can access through it to other portions. So this is why some dreams feel different. I think you can maybe open portals to dreams, but I think it's more of a personal thing to humanity than a universal thing. Yeah, I know. I know you said consciousness is connected to energy, but I'm saying that from my perspective, consciousness is not just energy, but everything else. So it's almost like the overarching thing. Not even that everything sits on, but that everything is. We listened to Donald Hoffman's on Lex the other day. This is Jake. He gets to a point where he says we've reached our limit, and we need a new flashlight to look into the dark. I immediately thought about Core. Funny. So, Jackie, I can see my reflection in water, but the me in the water is not real. Even though you can see the core, might it not be something physical? Well, just to use your analogy of the water, what is being reflected is real, or what is being reflected is like something, right? So if the code isn't where we're looking, and if it's a reflection, but it's still a reflection of something, so that something is real. So there's just, you kind of push the buck one level up, but you didn't really solve the problem there. Let me jump on this guy if you don't mind. Sure. You can jump on. You're talking about me, Jackie? Or about Hoffman? That thinks that we actually think we are in a physical VR, or is just using it as a metaphor? You're talking about me or Hoffman? So it's fine. I was going to say something. I lost my train of thought. Write it down, man. Got it. No, I don't think he's using it as a metaphor. I actually think he kind of Like he means it. Exactly how it sounds. Also, thank you so much for the engagement, everybody on TikTok. Yeah, sometimes dreams happening in real life. Yeah, I hear a lot of people reporting this. What's up, Cammy Bell? Maybe the technology of the molecule is designed for us specifically. I think it's designed for any being that can understand it to the degree that is required to do something with it. No eject buttons, baby. No escape. No need to escape. We just make this into the most beautiful place. It's kind of like asking, where do we escape reality? You don't. You live it. All right. Well, actually, to be quite honest, I think today I will have to adjourn a little bit early. Thank you, Demine. So let's call it a night. Tomorrow we have 2 lives, so I'm excited about that. We have the members live as well. So if you're not part of the members program on YouTube, come join the members program on Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, which will give you access for our weekly live for members only tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to follow me across platforms, you'll be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram. You'll be Goller Danny on X. It'll be LaserX83 on Twitch and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. Come join the membership program. And also, we have a Zoom call coming up with the second tiers. So if you sign up from the second tier and up on Zoom, on YouTube members, you would get access to Zoom calls with me once a month, which is coming up. Make sure you email me so I'll send you an invite. And come join our Discord community. You can find the links to this both on TikTok and on YouTube. On TikTok, my brain is like in the link tree on TikTok and on YouTube. And come check out our website, codeofreality.com. We have everything there. Our merch, our laser. And there's going to be, I know I keep saying it, but very, very soon we're going to have a lot more there. It's going to be a whole new website with a whole new ecosystem. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for our incredible moderators, Ebony and Chris and Guru and Jessica. Without you guys, this would not be possible. Thank you for our incredible guest, Nico. Love you, brother. Always fun to have you share your energy with us and ideas. And thank you so much for all the community that are always engaging, asking questions, bringing the vibes. What's up, Benevolent Sky? Good to see you. We're jumping off in a moment. Good to see you. And that's it. So I hope that we will keep doing this and growing, and it feels very fulfilling. So thank you so much for this incredible community, old and new. Charlie, Power Off, thank you so much, guys. Mikael, Guru, Jake, thank you so much, everybody, for participating. Jackie, Mind, Yoni, I know I can't name everyone, but thank you so much for being here. And thank you for everybody on TikTok, all the usuals, Cammy Bell and Muffin, and who else is with us? Oh, there's a lot of people today. But thank you so much, guys, for always being here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love. Ciao, everyone. Night, everyone.